Good morning, everybody. This is Dave Rawson, father, geologist Daniel C. Robinson. I just want to tell you thank you guys for coming in this morning's Q&A. This morning, I will be discussing the Nellen protests as well as the some little parts of the timeline and some other things that I'm doing to go forward on Daniel's case. And ultimately, I would be answering a lot of your questions. So, just to start off, you guys, because this whole point of me, my efforts to find my son, my whole point at this point is to get justice for my son. It's been over almost 2 years since my son went missing, and it's time for the justice that we need in Daniel's case. So I'm really pushing for that. Outside of all the searches that have been done on my behalf, 48 weeks of searches, as well as covering over 35,000 acres of land, searching for Daniel, as well as doing specialized searches and following leads, gathering evidence that would suggest foul play, you name it. Everything that was collected and everything that was done to this point that suggests foul play, as well as needing to have a criminal investigation into my son's case, is the part of the justice that I'm looking for. So the forensics that have not been done to this date. Some of those things weren't a change of jurisdiction, just change of people, so persons who are handling my son's case. Of course, you guys, I want to get my son's case moved out of Buckeye, Arizona. They have not pushed us not even a step closer to finding answers to what happened to my son. All the answers that we have so far that's leading us to finding out what happened to Daniel came from my efforts. So you guys, I'm looking for that justice. I did try to put those requests in with the Buckeye Police Department Chief Hall, who ignored those requests and rather talk about other things outside of the request of a family who lost faith in his department. So you guys, if there's no justice, there will be no peace. It's something I'm constantly doing. I'm telling you guys again, I really appreciate you guys for being a part of this. No justice, no peace. We demand actions. And the actions that need to be done is to get my son's case moved, like I said, over to a jurisdiction who will do the right thing with the evidence that is left over. Whatever we got left, I want to make sure that my son gets the justice that he deserves. You guys are my extended family. You have been here since day one, helping me search for my son, being a part of this efforts and this part of this movement. I really appreciate and really love each and every last one for what you do. No justice, no peace means there can be no peace without the justice. And so you guys, being a father, I'm going to continue to fight for Daniel. I would not have the peace until I get the justice that he deserves. Bring my son back home to his family, to our family, and that's what I'm looking for. My son Daniel has been missing for nearly 2 years. It's time for the justice in this case. My experience for searching for Daniel, you guys, has been a long journey. You guys know I have been fighting really hard to, like I said, locate my son. First of all, my first intentions were when I came out to Arizona, I thought I would find Daniel fairly quickly, but those things didn't happen. I had to put on the investigator hat as well as put on my search hat. I had to become a search team, a search expert. If you have you learning as I go, how to do a proper search, how to investigate a case, you name it. And also, I had to be an advocate for others. Saying meaning that Daniel he's not unique. The case what happened to me and my family is not unique to our family. Don't just stop at our family. There's thousands of people every year going through the same thing. Families going through the same thing. My family and I are going through. And Daniel just a type of shadow of those things. He's America's son. I like to keep saying because of that. I feel that law enforcement have failed Daniel and my family. Also, myself, I have been trying to work with law enforcement at the beginning of the Buckeye Police Department, who turned their back once we found the physical evidence of foul play. They turned their back and hired their own investigators. You guys know to, in my opinion, rebut it. Also, the effects of injustice. Injustice creates anger, frustration, and a sense of powerlessness. And I'm telling you, some guys, I've been through a lot of that. Saying since I've been searching for Daniel, anger. There's a lot of anger there, as well as frustration, hurt, pain. You guys, you name it. It's a lot of things you go through as a family when you're have a missing loved one that you care deeply about. It can lead to social unrest. It can lead to protest. It's also let's work together to get this justice, you guys. It also lead to other things that people have to do to try to make sure their loved one get the justice they deserve. But you guys, like I said, have been with me. This is a grassroots movement, and I really appreciate you guys working with me to get the justice for Daniel that he deserved. You guys have been treating Daniel as if he was your own, and I truly appreciate that. Because law enforcement was slow to act initially, Daniel remains missing. Buckeye Police Department, you guys have known all the details I told you in the past about how the Buckeye Police Department, and as well as the law enforcement agency, Tempe, for instance, at the beginning, felt Daniel. And when I say it felt Daniel, those things were cause of delay into finding and locating Daniel at the beginning. The denial of doing a welfare check, for instance, the denial of accepting the case and pushing me over to the Buckeye Police Department. The Buckeye Police Department fell into put a helicopter out there that night once we realized that Daniel went missing in the desert, not on Sun Valley Parkway, in the area where the officer that night was searching. They didn't search the desert; they searched the desert area that's off of Sun Valley Parkway, up and down Sun Valley Parkway. That is not where Daniel went missing. He went missing in the Sonoran Desert, and we wanted a helicopter out there. They failed to do that, as well as failing for days after. Took them almost 3 days before they say they put a Phoenix Firebird helicopter in the air. So that was failure. Also, the fact that they made me wait made me wait a 12-hour period is what they were told me at the time. I had to wait 12 hours to report him missing. I was 3 hours short of that, so I had to wait 3 hours to call back. That was a failure. There was a failure also in assuming that Daniel wanted to go missing on his own, and that made them not want to act. So there's a lot of failures at the beginning that caused that initial urgency that should have been there from day one. Person go missing the first hour, not the 48 hours, the 24 hours. The first hour, person been missing with the family. Do they due diligence? They know their loved one. They know, based on everything they know, the facts of that person, that they know, a family know when their loved one is missing. So because like I said, because law enforcement refused to take the physical evidence of foul play I gave them, Daniel justice have been hampered. And, of course, you guys, the vehicle showed up almost 30 days after June the 23rd of 2021. It showed up that vehicle showed up almost 30 days later, further into that that Sonoran Desert, in a 20-foot ravine, lying on its side. You guys, the Buckeye Police Department refused, not only refused, but before they refused the evidence that we collected, they didn't do forensics on the scene. I had the detective on a call telling me that he had told me the reasons why he felt it didn't. He felt it didn't even warrant a what he saw at that scene with his eyes didn't warrant a forensics, pulling forensics and things like that. So that's the reason why the forensics wasn't done at the scene. That's the reason why they told me in the meeting a few days after, as well as the day after, on July the 19th, when the vehicle showed up. They did not tell me for over 24 hours later. And then at the same day, on the 20th, they also threatened me to get the vehicle out of there and returning the vehicle over to me. I didn't get out the compound fast enough. I did force them to do some forensics. You guys know, you guys can see that in the report of the swabbing of the steering wheel and the steering wheel, the shifter. I asked for fingerprinting. So they did that one little thing after the vehicle was pulled from that scene. After they returned the vehicle over to me, from after they finished that process, I did have that vehicle moved out with my investigator who came and pull it out of there. But the thing is, you guys, like I said, we can go to the evidence of foul play. You guys know that was red transfer paint. I just reread the Santan report that the Buckeye Police Department utilized to rebut my investigator's findings. And one of the flaws he had, I told you the biggest flaws, you guys, that would warrant what I'm saying, you guys, to make it appear the Buckeye Police Department is rather try to keep us from getting a criminal investigation going. They hired someone, in my opinion, to say what they need to have said. One of those things were that he did not see this vehicle. You guys, he made a report or based on pictures that was given to him by the Buckeye Police Department. He have not physically examined the vehicle. He said it was a full rollover when there's no damage on it. He going by pictures again, you guys. We have evidence and pictures. There's no scratches, no damage on the rooftop. You guys, I was going to show you, matter of fact, I was going to put some pictures up today to show you what a rollover Jeep Renegade looked like. You know what I'm saying? There's pictures on the internet. You guys can go on the internet and look those up. Those are rollover vehicles. The roof was intact. There was no damage. There was no crushing in on the windshield from the top. The roof wasn't crashed in, that type deal. So it was never a full rollover. So he made a report that is flawed based on his ability not to even ask to see the vehicle. Like I said, they already turned the vehicle over to me. It's my possession. They have yet to even try at the time to ask for to look at the vehicle and then have the vehicle examined like my investigator did. But anyway, the red transfer paint that the vehicle did come in contact, in his report, the Santan report, he said that the vehicle didn't come in contact with anything. He don't see no evidence of that. And the reason why he couldn't see evidence of that is because he, again, was going by pictures. He wasn't there to see the evidence on the vehicle itself. The side of the vehicle that was lying on the ground had the red transfer paint. You guys, you cannot see that in the picture when the vehicle's lying on the ground. So that's make his report, his whole entire report flawed. It kind of made me question the motive of that report and et cetera. But the thing is, you guys, like I said, the red transfer paint for us plus the 46 initial cycles after that he cannot even explain himself. He tried to put it on the torn element. You guys know that battery was dead at the time when that vehicle was pulled out of there. It was dead at the time when it was recovered. My investigator had to put electricity to it just to another data off of there. So the whole point is there was no initial cycles and things like that done at the time when that vehicle was recovered as well. And nobody will do it over 4 to 6 times, you guys. So that's one thing. The other part is they did not go to this investigator did not go to Jeep. They went to a dealership. One of his local dealership would be one of his buddies. If you look at his background into certain things, could be some buddies or something. I don't know. But they went to a Jeep dealership instead of going to the manufacturers who I'm sure would have called that a recall. That's the reason why if I didn't want the recall thing to come into questions and the manufacturer would say, no, they do match. They always match. That's what would happen. They know that. They know that. So you can go to a Jeep dealership and ask somebody at Jeep dealership, of course, you'll find somebody who will say something that you want to hear. One of the things is, you guys, also the fact that the infotainment system was pulled out of the vehicle, and that infotainment system showed the time and date when the vehicle had the first crash. The first crash. The physical evidence showed multiple crash. The data report shows one crash. So those are things, you guys. I'm saying those things was the evidence of foul play, the clothing on the ground, the fact that my family and I know Daniel's personality. We know Daniel's not leaving life as it is. He plotted all of this. He schemed and he put his own clothes on the ground just to leave life as it is itself. He was so depressed that he was trying to off himself or something, whatever the case may be. That's not the things that come from our family. What we know about Daniel, the way he wouldn't even come to the job at the first. So you couple all those things together that we do know, and the fact that someone after the fact was into Daniel's apartment doing a search on his computer as well into his apartment. You couple all those things and get together will warrant a criminal investigation into my son's case. But like I said, you guys, the Buckeye Police Department is refusing to do so. They refuse. They're doing everything in their power to prevent my son's case going into being a criminal case, looking into his case, the criminality into this case. So that's the reason why, you guys, like I said, because of the law enforcement refusal to take this physical evidence of foul play that I gave them, you guys, instead of stepping in the brace and they shut it down, trying to shut it down. That's the reason why I need to go to a different department. I have a solution to this problem, you guys, and that solution is that I'm demanding that the Buckeye Police Department release my son's case to an outside agency that will bring results. That outside agency that I'm looking for is the FBI, as well as the Arizona Sheriff's Office, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. That's the two agencies that I'm looking for, as well as possibly with Department of Public Safety. DPS is Arizona DPS as well. Those are the departments that I'm looking at, mainly the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, you guys, because they have the facilities. Whatever I have left in my son's case, the evidence that I'm still holding on to have DNA evidence. Whatever I have left, I want to make sure we're salvaging that, and that the Buckeye Police Department don't create more damage to my son's case. They already broke the chain of custody and so on and so on. We can go through so much of that. But since my son went missing, the Buckeye Police Department has not found anything that would bring us closer to answers. Again, you guys, everything you guys know about my son's case, this was way before the Santan report and all this kind of stuff. Everything you know about my son's case came from my own efforts, from the information you guys know about the Waffle House, from the information you guys know about the gas purchase at the Shell station, from information. I'm just saying everything, you guys, everything you could think of that came from my son's case, the information of the sightings, the you know people have feel like they have sightings or whatever. I'm losing the train of thought right now, you guys, the words for that, but you know what I'm saying. Just going out and doing all the efforts came from myself. The 48 weeks of searches, finding human remains, and other information that will bring us answers to what's going on in the desert. Put my son going missing in a crime scene, for instance. All that evidence and stuff came from my own investigation. Everything we know, 46 initial cycles, we can go on and on and on about everything we know about Daniel's case. It did not come from the Buckeye Police Department. They haven't brought us not 1 inch closer to anything. But the only thing they're doing, if I were to follow the Buckeye Police Department, is pulling us backwards. They couldn't produce the cell phone pings, for instance. They couldn't produce pictures. They couldn't get Uconnect information. Everything they say they somehow magically can't do. You guys can't do the forensics on the scene when the vehicle showed up, that type deal. They have not had available cell phone pings or traffic cameras, like I said, you guys, nor did they use the location or found any information on. They said it came out all zero grids on the Uconnect on Daniel's vehicle that could provide that location. Everything that can help that help me find Daniel seems to conveniently, you guys, being conveniently blocked by the Buckeye Police Department. It seemed that way to me, you guys. No matter what it is, you guys know that the crime scene buildup of my son being missing, the crime scene, all the evidence of the human remains, you guys, and as well as clothing items found at the scene. We even cracked the case in my because of my search for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office of a stolen vehicle they was looking for. And so it's a lot came out of that. All of my efforts out there in that desert, out there, my efforts trying to find my son. A lot of things came out, and like I said, you guys, everything that I've done from that, they somehow conveniently tried to block. They even tried to block the amount of human remains that the volunteers in my searches found out there in that desert. Try to bring it down. I guess they're trying to bring that crime statistic down, like they got caught one time ago trying to falsify, trying to bring down that crime statistics for Buckeye. But there's a lot of crime going on in that area. You guys, we exposed that by having those searches. Everything that can help us find Daniel seems to be blocked by the Buckeye Police Department. Now they are blocking the agencies that can help. Like I said, I sent a letter out to Chief Hall. He sent a response back ignoring he didn't answer the question of my request to have my son's case moved over to the Maricopa County as well as the FBI. He ignored it and started trying to showboat about what he felt they did, which they haven't done anything towards, like I said, to bring us closer to any answers. We will fight to change this outcome, you guys, and I will not stop. So what we can do, you guys, we can peacefully protest in 2 forms. I created a mail-in protest. You guys, you know about that as well. That is targeted to the departments that you guys will see on that PDF of those letters. It's targeted to those departments' attention, to get their attention and their actions. Next, we will do a protest at their departments. You guys, like I said, I'm planning protests in 2 places. I have a Maricopa County as well as a Buckeye protest that I'm trying to work on, you guys. And the reason why in the Buckeye one is more crucial, I'm working on trying to make sure these protests is on a weekday, you guys. Buckeye Police Department is like Mayberry. They don't work on the weekends. I need you to join us and invite your family and your friends. This is a grassroots effort. I'm totally dependent on you guys. I'm dependent on myself. I push myself and I keep the drive. I have a team. My team is doing everything they can in the background to help me as well. But it's a drive. It's a drive to keep going, you guys, and I cannot do it. When I say grassroots, it's my team and as well as you guys as that keep this whole thing going. So definitely need you guys to constantly help much as you guys can. Try to reach out to more people, try to get them involved. And that's the way we're going to keep this grassroots things going. So thanks so much, you guys. There's power in the people, and we are those people. So thank you so much, you guys. I want to also put this last thing up, the mail-in protest. You guys know the PDF and how you guys can do it. I'll be talking about that on the other end, but I want to go ahead, and I'm way behind on this, but I need to go ahead and start this Q&A. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys for listening to this portion. And like I said, I will come back and see you guys on the other end. So thank you.
You are my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink, and now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice. I'm not afraid. Walking with me at the same pace.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And I will do everything I can in my power to find them. Thank you guys for being here on this Q&A again. I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. My son, Daniel, a graduate of the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. My son graduated with honors, took his career out to Phoenix, Arizona, where he started his life, his career, his mission to do great things and wonderful things on this earth. My son, on June the 23rd of 2021, went out. I want to back up. My son got hired by an engineering company in Phoenix called Matrix New World. It's also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. They hired him on as a field geologist, hydrogeologist. They also call it. My son go out to various well sites all across Arizona to check the viability of wells. The wells are groundwater is what he does. Check the viability to make sure these groundwaters are producing at least 100 years of water. That's something that is required by law in Arizona. Arizona is a desert state. My son went out, like I said, took his career to help Arizona become great or be great. The thing is, on June 23rd of 2021, my son had 2 assignments to go to, 2 well sites to, like I said, check the viability of these wells, how much water producing out there in an area where a new project, a new development will be coming up still. They're working on to see if this community can be built based on if the groundwater can produce that 100 years of water. My son's job is very crucial, like I said, and that's what he was doing the day that he went missing, to go out and try to assess these wells. My son did make it according to his job to the first well site, but then we tried to go out to the second well site is where the trouble and where the information gets muddled. Based on his phone information, it would suggest that maybe Daniel did not go to this well, or he was looking for how to get to this well. But we have to go by the only information that we receive, and it's from one person from a company called Weber, who said that my son met him. I don't know how my son was asking for directions, but he said my son met him out on Sun Valley Parkway near the Cactus Road area junction, the West Cactus Road junction, and they met on the side of the road. My son followed him into that desert, the Sonoran Desert. They went 1 mile west, 2 miles north to get to a well site that he said was at 9 o'clock that morning. They talked for roughly about 10 minutes or so. By 9:15, he said my son was driving away, thought to him, drove off to never be seen again. Almost 30 days afterwards, you guys, my son's vehicle showed up in this ravine right here, the vehicle's lying on its side. What was allegedly his clothing was 3 feet away from the vehicle. Everything from underwear down to his socks was on the ground along with his clothing. The boots, one was tucked up under the vehicle, the other on the other side of the vehicle on the ground. Things like his cell phone, his work computer, etc., was found. His personal effects were found with the vehicle, and some things was found outside the vehicle in the pile with the powder clothing, according to law enforcement. But you guys know to date, my son remained missing. Those who know the story about the details of those things will know that this is just looking at the scene itself, based on everything we do know now as well, suggests foul play. But this case remained just a missing person case, despite the overwhelming physical evidence of foul play that the Buckeye Police Department is refusing to utilize. You guys, I'm here. I've been here since been in Arizona since June 26th, fighting for Daniel. I'm still fighting for my son. You guys know I have started my own searches, my own investigation. Like I said on the front end of this, I've been doing that for the searches for over 48 weeks, you guys. And also, we covered 35,000 acres of land out there, bought closures for other families, cracked other cases as well for the Maricopa County, as well as should be for the Buckeye Police Department, as well as for the FBI. But we did make some progress on a lot of things when it comes to Daniel. I was able to put out thousands and thousands of flyers all across this country. Was able to get my son's case elevated to a national level to bring awareness to my son's case. You guys have been there from day one supporting, and you guys are still here. So I really appreciate it, guys. Again, I'm here this morning for a couple things, and one of those things is also we cannot forget. This is, fast and prayer. So fast and prayer is something I do near the 23rd of every month, and that's some people call it anniversary type deal, but it's a monthly thing near the 23rd where I do a fast and prayer. And the fast and prayer for Daniel is not just for Daniel, not just for my family, but it's also for all the other families who going through the same thing that my family has. So I'm putting this up on the screen, but fast and prayer for Daniel. You guys can put a hashtag there on your social media accounts, hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. What I do is, like I said, it's a fast and prayer. I started off with a prayer with you guys. We do a prayer and pray for these families, pray for my family as well. We start off the fast and prayer, and then on the Q&A this evening, we'll come back and we'll pray again to end the fast and prayer. If you guys want to join in with us on the fast and prayer, I really appreciate that. I believe in fasting, I believe in prayer, and I believe in faith. Faith is an action word. I say this a lot on this Q&A. It's an action word for me. My mom taught me; she was the first teacher of faith for me, and I live by it. I live by the faith, and I walk by faith, not by sight. And everything that happened so far, God told me, put it on my heart and make sure I'm a father, first of all, to go out and search for my son. I have not stopped. You guys to see all the things that have been produced from that. Sometimes even when bad things are happening, my family, we're suffering with the losses that we have, as well as Daniel being missing. But out of bad tragedies, a lot of times good things come in the wake of that as well. Being there, like I say, to help other families, being able to pray for other families for their healing, and as well as them be able to find their loved ones well. So I'm going to start a prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you, Lord, for this day, this new day. I thank you, God, for just watching over us as we sleep, keeping us from seen and unseen dangers. I thank you, Heavenly Father, for bringing everybody into this Q&A who want to hear my voice, want to be able to help me find my son, put on their heart to do everything they can to be an advocate for me and my family. They're praying for us. They're being, like I said, advocates and doing things. I thank you, Heavenly Father, for them, for bringing them along to our family to help me, Lord, get the answers that I'm looking for. I'm asking you, Heavenly Father, to guide me in the right places, and put me in the right places at the right time to locate my son, to help me keep the wisdom there, touch the heart of law enforcement to do the right things, etc. Lord, you know all the things that we need. I know it's a time and place where things will happen, and I will find my son. There's only time and place, but I'm going to keep my faith and my actions towards my faith, and I know you will bless. Also, for those families who's out there to suffer right now, who woke up this morning, having to miss a loved one in pain, in shock. I know that feeling. I've been there, and I want you to comfort them, Lord, and bless their hearts and their mind and their soul. Help and guide them and lead them. Get the help that they deserve and the help that they need. Put them in the right places. Get the right resources they need. Help them find their loved one and bring their loved one safely back home to them. And as well as those who listen to my voice right now, you know their needs, their desires, their hearts, Lord. And I thank you for them. Bless them. Sometimes people help you, but they have things going on in their own life as well. You know those things. Bless them as well, Lord. Bless them and help them out of those situations and help them with those situations. Help them have the clarity or how to get out of the situations or situations they need to be in. Help them and bless them in ways they're looking for, some blessings they're looking for. Grant, open up those windows of heaven and pour out those blessings in them as well. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for all things. Amen. Thank you guys for joining in this prayer with me. Again, this is fasted prayer for Daniel as well. You guys can, if you're joining in with us, my team and I, you guys can join us this evening when I will conclude the fast and prayer. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank your love, your support. Like I said, always constantly being there for me and my family and others. Also, you guys, I'm here this evening, this morning. I'm jumping the gun already. I want to be evening, guys, but I'm here this morning again to talk about all things Daniel, about this protest. And guys, I started off at the front end here, and I want to put this back up again. The mail-in protest. What we want, you guys, is a change in jurisdiction. So you guys who supporting me and everybody who wants to support what I'm doing, I'm looking for that change of jurisdiction. It's been long enough, guys. It's almost 2 years. We're not going to wait to the anniversary of 2 years to allow the Buckeye Police Department to continue in the direction they're going. Direction of no answers. You guys, you can fill in and play around with a missing persons case and just say, hey, oh yeah, I'm checking this out. I'm gonna call this person or this. No, we passed that. We passed that. We need to have a criminal investigation. We need DNA test things done. We need some serious work in my son's case. So we need to change the jurisdiction. We need a criminal investigation as well. We need the FBI involved. My son went missing, you guys, in a criminal of high crime area where there's human remains found. We had the latest remain found by one of the volunteers in my searches. You guys know that was a little farther distance near her home, but it was in driving range of where my son went missing, that whole big area out there. So she's part of my search. She was happened to be out there. I won't put her name out here on the Q&A, but when she found the human remains, she did try to contact me. I was unable to get a call at the time. Buckeye Police Department have not contacted me on it, but she was able to contact me, tell me what she found. She was very devastated, you guys, because like I said, she's one of the dedicated volunteers out there. She's out there in that desert with me, me and the other volunteers as well. But she often like to do those searches by herself. I always get on her about that because I really don't encourage that people going out in the desert alone. My son was missing out there. I don't like being out there alone. I've been doing a lot of things out there for myself, for my son, investigative wise. And I'm out there by myself, but I don't encourage other people to do that. But she did go out with a family member and found those human remains lately. You guys, it was sadly, of course, any family had to go through hearing about where their loved one is, but they did identify this person, and it wasn't Daniel. Of course, you guys know that last one I'm talking about. But the thing is, you guys, that's a big crime scene. The big crime scene out there. The other evidence that we found out as well, like I said, the other pile of clothing. We're not going to ignore that, you guys. Just like this vehicle behind me with a pile of clothing that's sitting right here on the ground. Somebody else's clothing was sitting on the ground as well near the well site area where they got this big development right now. Somebody else's clothes in the pile. Everything from this underwear to the socks is in this pile. But it wasn't Daniel, you guys. I knew it was Daniel's clothes because this pant size was a bigger guy. It's a large guy. The shirt was big. So is the size that Daniel do not wear. But nevertheless, it belongs to another person. We thought it was a serial killer going on down there. But the Buckeye Police Department, whatever they did with those things that we turned into them and reported to them, I don't know. But I can tell you where they're building this big development is, location is a big crime scene. A lot of crimes happen in that area. Obviously, 'cause like I said, we was up to 6 or 7 human remains, though the Buckeye Police Department is trying to downgrade it to 1 or 2 because, like I said, in my opinion, is because of that crime statistics, like they always keep trying to do, is lower the crime statistics for Buckeye. But you know, one of the biggest things is that, like I said, my son went missing in this area, and the FBI should be warranted to come out and investigate what goes on in that Sonoran part of the desert in that area. We found, like I said, for the Maricopa County, a vehicle out there while we were doing the search. On their side is the Maricopa County Island, like they call it, different sections of that Sonoran Desert belong to the Maricopa County, for instance, the BLM, to the Buckeye Police Department, and doing on the Maricopa side, we was able to help them, the Maricopa County, close a case of a stolen pickup truck. And so I'm saying there's a lot came out of this efforts to find Daniel. Though it's a tragedy for me and my family, but it's also been helping. The search has been helping other families along the way. Justice for Daniel, you guys, is what this all is about. How you can help is to help do the mail-in protest, you guys. I'm doing things in the background, trying to get meetings, trying to get this case moved over. But what helped me if you guys go ahead and get those PDFs off the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com website and download them, get them in the mailbox. And one thing, I'm going to go through that real quickly with that, you guys. Get them in the mailbox. You don't have to do a return address if you don't want to. If you want to if you want anything returned back, it's proper to go ahead and put your information for them to send it back, some response back to you, basically. But the biggest part for me is getting those numbers to those mailboxes, to the Buckeye Police Department, for instance. We need thousands of them. There are 1,000 letters coming in at a time. In a way to get their attention. They see these letters. There's going to be some mail stuffers I add to that, like you guys. For instance, this is going to be, you guys can see the PDF. When you print it out, it'll be on a sheet of paper. You guys, you can stuff that into with your letters as well if you want to. You guys, or you can just send these individually if you just want to send this just these let's say mail-in stuffers, I like to call them. If you want to just send those, you guys, you can do it that way as well. You don't have to even send it. This way, be creative, whatever you want to do. But these are the PDFs that you guys can utilize for the efforts to find Daniel, to help me get this case moved over. So what it says here is what we want is justice. We demand a criminal investigation into the disappearance of geologist Daniel C. Robinson. When do we want it? We want it now, you guys. And this was some of the signs. This is also going to be a PDF of some of the signs that I will be creating for the physical protest that we will be doing in front of the Buckeye Police Department, as well as, if needed, the Maricopa County as well, Sheriff's Office. And this is the second one, you guys. Like I said, when you print it out, it'll come out neatly on your sheet of paper. This is also the second one, where there's no justice, there's no peace, you guys. And this is what, and it's meaningful. It's meaningful because it's exactly what I feel. And this is exactly what needs to happen. We're not going to have, if there's no peace, if there's no justice for my son, I'm going to find the justice that my son needs. So no justice, no peace. Now's the time for action. We demand jurisdictional change. Geologist Daniel C. Robinson has been missing since June the 23rd of 2021. It's time for an independent investigation, you guys, outside of the Buckeye Police Department. They do not have anything everything the Buckeye Police Department have, I have furnished to them, you guys. Everything you know about my son's case, I have furnished to the Buckeye Police Department. So any agencies don't have to go to the Buckeye Police Department to start an investigation. They need to come to me and gather to get this vehicle from my possession, get this forensics evidence from my possession, get all the information that I collected in my investigation to start an investigation. They don't need the Buckeye Police Department to do so. Any agency that feel like they need the Buckeye Police Department is only trying to cover up for the Buckeye Police Department. Meaning, when I say cover up for the Buckeye Police Department, they're trying to look out for the blue. I don't want to step on their toes. I don't want to make them feel bad. I don't want to hurt their feelings, that type deal. That's the cover up I'm saying, you guys, because this is my son that's missing. And that's the most crucial and most important part in this whole scenario. We don't care about the Buckeye Police Department's feelings. We need to know that law enforcement is doing their job, no matter what source it comes from. It got to be a great source. They're doing their job. The Buckeye Police Department hadn't been doing their job well, you guys. That's what caused my son to be missing to this date. The failures that they have done from day one. This is a person's life, not a game for law enforcement to play with each other. Like I said, to look out for another law enforcement agency. So again, no justice, no peace. Now's the time for action. So you guys, like I said, you can get these PDFs and you can send them in your letters. You can be creative with them, send them individually or whatever case you may want to do. But all you have to do is, like I said, go to the PleaseHelpFindDaniel.com website, and all that information will be there for you. This simple. It'll be there for you. You guys can go and, like I said, download it there. But I'm gonna share the screen with you guys with this. But this is the website, you guys, for those who may have visited or not have visited the PleaseHelpFindDaniel.com website. This is the front page. You come out to the front page, you guys, and you just stroll down off the front page. Let me see if I can get it to come down here. Stroll down until you see here we say Justice for Daniel. You can please download the PDFs for your mail-in protest. Of course, this is the first one, you guys, is the PDF link for your letters. The first one is those letters. Like I said, one is going to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. The second one is going to the Buckeye Police Department, as well as the Tempe, Arizona Police Department. One thing I want to add, you guys, I'm going back and I may try to correct. You might see this PDF. Go ahead and see what you got now, but I may start adding these case numbers because I think one problem I have with some of these agencies will kick back and say they don't have this or they don't have this public information. You guys, they do have this public information. It's there. I have case numbers. I have report numbers. So I'm going to add those to these PDFs as well. So they cannot deny you guys when you guys want this information. That information is there. You have a direct number that will put you into that. But here you go. This is the incident number, and this is one. But I'm gonna go correct this one for the Tempe, for instance, you guys. That is one, I guess. It depends on which department that incident number may be different. So I'm gonna make sure these incident numbers are correct on this PDFs, because I think all the letters will have the same incident number, and that's based on the Buckeye Police Department. But I want to make sure that each of these incident numbers that I have, you guys, case numbers, are put on these letters, so they will not be trying to kick some things back. You guys get what I'm saying? So I'm working on that as well for you guys. But like I said, this whole PDF thing, getting those letters in the mail, is based on numbers. Like I said, I know you guys may want something back or certain things. But if you guys, like I said this before, if you got, like, for instance, example, you sending out 10, letters, and but you want to return, you may want to put a return address on one of those 10 letters and envelopes or whatever, return information or whatever you need to get a return response. The rest of them is just for numbers, and that's what I'm looking for, like these numbers, you guys. Going into these departments for they can see what these letters are about, and that's why I think this again, these little PDFs, the stuffers and mail stuffers in there, will say everything on it. Will say something about Daniel Cornelius Robinson, and so those things is kind of helpful too as well if you guys want to do it that way or not. So again, there's a lot of ways you can look at that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of ways. But anyway, going back to the let me see if I can go back to the website. You guys, go back to the website. That's the PDF where you guys go to PleaseHelpFindDaniel.com. The second two are the additions. You guys, what I just showed you, those mail stuffers. You can go ahead and click either one of those, and that's what give you the PDF for those. One of them going to look like it's really large on the screen, but when you print it out, they will be the right size. They'll be on your paper the right size. Please do not send letters outside of the window. The mail-in window is on Monday through Thursday every week, you guys. East Coast letters that's coming out from the East Coast, for instance, it takes about 3 days to get to Arizona. You guys might want to adjust your date that you're sending it off. You want to send it off on Monday to get it there by Thursday. Also, like I said, the East Coast can take the 1 to 2 days to arrive, or probably even 3. The goal is to have these letters arrive within the mail-in window. That's the biggest part of the, like I said, I just want a whole bunch of bulk mail coming into these agencies. Download and print the PDF, as many as you want to mail. And, just like I said, you can encourage your family and friends to help you out. Sign the documents only if you're looking for a return response. You can send a no return envelopes. Meaning, saying just to increase the numbers, just to have their address on there to send it to them in the mail. They receive these things. But just to make sure, some people, I even have some that have did certified mail. Nissa, for instance, I really appreciate you so much for doing the certified. I'm not requiring or asking people to do certified mail, but if you want that as well, you can do that. But I'm not requiring it because I'm not asking people that because it's costly. And I'm trying to make this thing low cost as possible for you guys. I really appreciate you guys, the way you have been donating in different ways. And this is one form of donation to me, is to, put a stamp on the mail and send that out to these agencies. So you can send a no return envelope to increase the numbers of mail you can send, and what is received by that department that that you're sending off to. The mailing address is at the top of each of the documents. That's where you mail each of those letters to. Encourage your family and friends to do so. I need like 500 letters a week. That's the goal. That's a low number, low goal, you guys. I look for thousands, but that's a low goal. At least 100, at least 500 a week to these departments. Share on your social media accounts. Additional mail stuff is, like I said, is with those two that I'm going to show you guys right here in a minute again, and show you how they're going to look on the website. Like I said, when you print them, it'll be a lot different. But those stuffers can be mailed individually if you want to, on a weekly basis, or you can just, like I said, stuff them in with the letters as well. They are to protest. They are your protest placards, you guys. It's almost like if you guys, like I said, this whole mailing process was built. I did this because I want to make sure that everybody can participate in this effort. And so people say, Mr. Robinson, I can't not make it to Arizona to do a protest. This is the form of protest that everybody can join in on. And so that's the reason why I created it that way. Also, it helped me. I told you guys on the live on the other night, it's a method to the madness. It's something that the drill sergeant told me, like you guys who followed the live, I told you on the other night. My drill sergeant, she's always whispering in my ear in basic training, back when I was in basic training. And she says, Robinson, there's a method to the madness. She also, it's a method to the madness. She also say that to me. I'm like, what she says that for? And I started realizing what she mean by that. You have to do certain things a certain way. A lot of times people look and say, that don't make sense. I don't see what it's going to accomplish or whatever case. Trust me, it's a method to this madness, and you guys are helping me, and I really appreciate it. And I can see results already. So I really appreciate that, guys. If you guys can continue to join in with me on this mail-in protest. They are your protest placards, and they can be produced or for future in-person protests. Like I said, these are PDFs I always use also as those bit signs that we will be using in the physical protest that I will be holding pretty soon, based on what I'm trying to do in the background as well. You put on those additional additions. Like I said, this will come up, you guys. All you do is have to print them out or whatever. You guys know how to do that as well. The second one is the same exact way. You hit the second one, like I said, it's gonna look huge, you guys, but when you print it out, it'll come on your paper the right way. I think I must click the same one, but pretty much that's just the gist of that, you guys. They should be, let's see, one of them was a little bigger. Okay, yes. So it looked a little large, you guys, but like I said, it would come out just right on your paper. So again, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I truly appreciate you guys for just even just attempting to do so and helping me in this this whole big thing I'm trying to do, this mail-in protest event, you want to call it. So thank you guys. Also, you guys, I want to kind of I'm going to the comment section a little bit, so make sure I get some comments and things like that before I go into the timeline. I want to go in the timeline today a little bit, touching base, but I want to hear some of your questions, your suggestions. If you have them in the comment section, or everything I'm doing, because I love those questions. I love those suggestions. I learn a lot, like Shiro's Nation from the past, who just asked a question. I have some people in the comment section that ask questions that make a lot of sense. it takes you into a direction when you're investigating, you've missed something. And then a question can evoke some thought, like, hey, that make a whole lot of sense. For instance, when I had a second person who said they saw Daniel, he went through the whole thing. The Buckeye Police probably say they believe his story. I don't. But they say they believe his story and they validate his story and all this kind of stuff, right? But it don't make sense when she asked that question. She's right. At the time, I had no reason to doubt his theory at the time. I mean, what he say he saw. But I was telling you guys about it. I don't know if you guys remember. He said he was a federal law enforcement officer. He even showed me a badge and all the kind of everybody saying that he is a law enforcement. My investigator believed this story, obviously, because he told me that the guy is a federal law enforcement officer. So to make a long story short, he's not, right? The other part is that this guy's story said that when he talked to Daniel that day on June the 23rd, him and his children, he asked Daniel, to ask Daniel about, is this a good area to do target practice? What he was doing, he was out there shooting his rifles, target practice with his children, he said. And he said Daniel told him, no, this is where I work at. You need to go. And he was pointing them out to, and that's part of the Sonoran Desert where he can go out there to talk. He said, that's where you're supposed to go at. This is where it's at, about blah, gave him direction. But the question that here on the Q&A was from Shiro's Nation is, well, how can Daniel give somebody a direction to where to shoot when he never been out there ever in his life in that area? Because he's never been out here, you guys. Daniel has never been in that part of Sonoran Desert at all, period. Out there, nowhere of Sun Valley Parkway ever in his life. So how can you give direction to a location you never been? So that right there was one of the key things that made me start looking at this guy differently. And then sure enough, like I said, he was his story about being a law enforcement officer was debunked, and some things about his past that came up into light, and all kind of things, you guys. So like I said, the Q&A is very important. When you guys have these questions, I really appreciate that. For your question. Thank you, Let's Lutz, for your comment. Yeah, he's a very handsome young man. I love him to death. I miss talking to him. I hope I get to hear from him again. Aaron, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate everything you do. T and Wildflower, thank you so much as well. Good morning. Tracy, thank you for being here this morning. Chris Brown, thank you for being here this morning off the Facebook side. I really, truly appreciate you guys coming out. Sophia, thank you so much for being here. You guys know Sophia in the chats. You guys, so fresh smells, as well as she's my team member. I really appreciate you for being here, and also a moderator, and also the treasurer for the Daniel Robinson Foundation. I really appreciate you for being here. Thank you for the hashtag, both of the hashtag Fast and Prayer for Daniel, as well as the Justice for Daniel. I really appreciate you putting this in the chats for the people to be able to put on their page. Again, thank you, AJ Jones, for being here. I really appreciate you for being here off the Facebook side, as well as Earth. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. I really appreciate it. We need the prayers and the love. I really appreciate you for doing it. Thank you, Shauna, for being here. And I'll get this right, Shauna. She's also a moderator. Thanks so much for being here, Shauna. And also the secretary for the Daniel Robinson Foundation, also like I said, board member, secretary, as well as a moderator and a part of my team. So thanks so much for being here, and a friend. You all are friends as well. So thanks so much for being here. Thanks for the hashtags, you guys, and like I said, moderating and keep the chats safe. I really appreciate that. You guys, if you have any questions, by the way, don't forget to hit that like. First of all, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe button. But if you have any questions, you guys, please utilize the word questions before your questions, a question mark before your question, or like I said, the word question, the question mark, or a capital letter Q, or some indication when I'm coming down, I would be able to see your question. I won't miss your questions. That's what I'm looking for. Also, thank you, Anissa, again, for your constant love and support. I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chats. You always do that super chats, and I really appreciate you always supporting this channel. I really, really appreciate everything you do. In the background too, we talk a lot with that, so I really appreciate that as well, for you being a constant person in support of Daniel. So thank you. Blessings to all. I really appreciate that. You coming out. Thank you. Blessings to all for being here this morning as well. T and Wildflower, thank you for being here as well. And also when I was doing the ambassador program. You were the ambassador for the ambassador program. You guys know I had shut down the ambassador program for now, not in a different form. I will be doing this. I had in Tea and Wildflower, you know this. Have been having low turnout. It's something that wasn't taken off the way I need to take off. So I'm going to readjust some things, and we are going forward with being able to help other families with the Daniel Robinson Foundation. That would be a different way of infrastructure I'm working on. Also, thank you, Shauna, for putting this up. Hashtag justice, hashtag justice for Daniel, hashtag no justice, no peace. I really appreciate you guys. You can add all of you guys into your social media accounts when you're talking on the case with Daniel, when you guys are responding to posts and things like that. That would help with the algorithms. Also, Clumsy, thanks so much for being here. I'm grateful you're here. Thank you so much for being here and always constantly supporting as well. I do have a question here, you guys, from Tea and Wildflower. I really appreciate it. Will you be doing new media interviews about the mail-in protest and call to action? I really hope so. I've been even in South Carolina, I've been reaching out to the radio stations and stuff. I'm finding little difficulties, you guys. And one of the things is, like I said, that's why I have this Q&A. That's why I'm out on social media. But yes, I am trying to get another campaign going with the media. And I'm really going back to square one, like I did before, working very hard night and day to get media involved. So into everything I'm doing with Daniel. So I'm pushing that, guys. It helped you guys. Like I said, constantly keep sharing Daniel's story, constantly sharing what I'm doing on your social media accounts. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, for instance, to keep the algorithms going. All of that efforts work. So thank you so much, Team Wildflower. Yes, I'm really having a desire to do that, to make sure I can keep Daniel's case out there, because one thing for sure, with all this evidence and things that have not been touched yet by law enforcement, this is far from a cold case. Also, thank you again, Clumsy, for being here. Tea and Wildflower, like I said, thank you so much for being here as well. Tracy, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the hashtag, Justice for Daniel. And let me see here. I got something else here. There we go. Hashtag. I stand for Daniel. You coming up with some good ones, Shauna. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Also, I got Donna here. Thanks so much for praying for me and my family. I really appreciate that. God bless you. Thank you so much. And Bettina, thank you so much for being here as well. I really appreciate that. Yes, thanks so much. And I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. We're going to find Daniel. Thank you, Lola, for being here as well. Thank you, Larnell, for being here. Good morning to you, sir. Larnell as well, director of Daniel Robinson Foundation, as well as moderator and friend, team member of the Daniel Robinson Foundation, and my friend, personal. So thank you so much for being here this morning and helping out. So God bless you, L. Siebert. I hope I say your name correctly. What become of Daniel Robinson and what became of Daniel Robinson? We're gonna find that out. So thank you so much, L. I really appreciate that for being here. The Scuba Doo Life, thank you so much for being here as well. I'm still looking for your questions, you guys. I'm just trying to make sure I can get down here and find some of your questions. I do see some names that familiar, Pacific Breeze as well. You guys have a question? I do have one from Clumsy. Thank you, Clumsy, for your question. Has Buckeye PD ever elaborated why they don't believe Daniel Carr being found a month later is not suspicious? I could go by, I can't read their minds, but I can't say their actions and the word they put out in the public. Like Chief Hall, for instance, he was on CNN saying he can't make up evidence because Sarah Seidner from CNN asked him, the family, say, hey, look, it's got to be criminal. Everything we know about my son, when this vehicle showed up, it's got to be criminal. We just looked at layman person. Can we look at that and say, hey, look, this is criminal? And he said to her, well, we can't make up evidence, right? But we reduced evidence. I went to got my investigator and we gave him evidence of it. And they instead of them embracing it, like I said, you guys, they rejected it. They rejected it and didn't go by what my investigator found. They went out from physically examining my son's vehicle. They went out and got their own investigator months later, you guys, and tried to rebut what my investigator did. And he can't. I don't care how much they think he's some kind of professional out there, whatever the case may be. This guy have never seen my son's vehicle again. I'm going to keep preaching that over and over again because this is the facts, you guys. Never seen my son's vehicle, never physically touched it, never examined the other side of the vehicle that's lying on the ground. They're going by pictures from the Buckeye Police Department. That is not very good pictures. You guys see the picture, and the picture he used on the report, those are the same pictures that they gave me. There was no real detailed pictures taken by the Buckeye Police Department because they have not found the red transfer paint that was lying on the ground. They have not seen the roof line of this vehicle and the damage that's not there that suggests it wasn't a rollover. I can show you again, you got some rollover stuff, but the reasons why the Buckeye Police Department refusing, even when they felt like it was a brain injury, refusing to go out and search for Daniel even after the brain injury the way they should have. And all the stuff that's the clothing on the ground, the somebody's in Daniel's vehicle after the in his apartment after the fact, that type of stuff. To the Buckeye Police Department is not strange. Nothing is strange. That's what is strange for the Buckeye Police Department. I do not know. So the whole point is, I'm saying, you guys, the only conclusion I can come with it is the appearance to me of some form of cover up, and that's the only thing I can come up with. That. So other than that, I can't answer that question. They're mine, but I can say their actions and what they say out in public is determines what caused me to believe what I need to know. There's something going on in that case, in that department. Thank you, Aaron, for putting it out to help me read your comment. There's something going on in that department. They have to release Daniel's case, and they have to. They have to. We're not going to stop until they do. So we're definitely going to make sure that happens. Pacific Breeze, thank you. Who was the last person to see Daniel in person before Ken? And that's one thing I do not know that morning. I do not know. I do know based on Daniel's phone records and also his phone itself. I can look at the communication that was going on between him and his coworkers before he went out there to Sun Valley Parkway. But as in, if he's seen anybody or met with anybody, I do not know. And that's some of the things I'm looking at too, you guys. That was the crucial thing. I'm saying the failure again of the Buckeye Police Department. That was one of the crucial things that me and my family, when I got here, and when I got to Arizona on the 26th of June, 3 days after after my son went missing, my daughter and I sat there with the Buckeye Police Department. We asked for certain things. We asked for the cell phone pings, right? We asked for camera footage. And when I say camera footage, you guys, we have so much technology these days. We got rings, we got you name it. If they was really, really concerned about what happened to my son, they would have been able to go and find out this information. The Buckeye Police won't even probably know who Daniel was last seen because they're not looking. You know what I'm saying? They did not go out and try to find this information when they could have. You guys know that a lot of time camera footage overwrites itself after 30 days. I know that. I have my own home security. I know our cameras do that if we don't save or record something. It wipes out. So it's the failure in that system. I'm saying, you guys, I would be a fool to allow the Buckeye Police Department to continue to handle my son's case when they're full of failures. And I can have put my son's case forward not a little bit, some progress. So you guys, I'm really gonna continue to push that. So thank you guys for this. Also, Marine, thank you for being here this morning. Your name sounds really familiar, but thanks so much for being this morning. The Buckeye Police Department have a complaint against individual officers of that or department. Have you taken this route likely against the department? Well, I don't know about all their complaints, but I do know I have heard stories from volunteers who came out to my searches who lives in Buckeye. They had some issues with the Buckeye Police Department, of course. I can name some, but I'm not going to put other people's case out in public. But there's some things that was told to me about the way they handle certain people's nationalities, I'll just put it that way, case, right, and things that was going on. So I'm not going to try to put that on that department, but I can say, yeah, there's a lot of things I heard about complaints and things like that. But I do know publicly that Chief Hall, for instance, the chief they have there, was suspended and one quit, I guess, to make sure he keep his pension or something. I don't know. But for falsifying documents, falsifying crime statistics. Also, Chief Hall got in trouble for having business dealings that's not supposed to, that's, I guess, is illegal for him being the chief of police and doing some other security business dealing. He had no business. So there's a lot of illegal things that goes on in the department, but yet they keep the same chief And like I said, you guys, I already have my opinions about the city manager, the mayor, the vice mayor, and the whole city council up there. I have my opinions about them based on what they showed me about themselves as well. They still got this chief there, for instance. They show a lot about their character as well. So the thing is, you guys, the complaints, I don't know, Marine. I'm not sure. Thank you, Miss Legg, for being here as well. Miss Leah, I'm sorry. Miss Leah, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for your support and your prayers. I truly appreciate it. Terry Dean, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Shauna, for reminding me. You guys, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I really want to get this channel to grow, to continue to grow. That get the algorithms going to get more eyes on Daniel's case. And thank you again, Terry Dean. You say, may heaven and earth come together and bring Daniel home. Yes, yes, we're gonna be praying for that, and that's going to happen in due time. Also, regarding the vehicle, thank you, Marine, again. Wouldn't the auto insurance investigate the probable cause? They can also do extensive test scenarios. That was brought to me when that vehicle was given to me, and that's what I may have heard it from you before, but I know someone came to me. It could have been you talking about the insurance company. And during the time, I can tell you, no, I have not follow up on it like I really wanted to at the time. A lot of things have been happening, and I'm sure they got one thing that got past me. But yes, I heard about that that ability that insurance companies may have. A matter of fact, some information that the insurance company probably, like you said, can find probably more towards what this what my investigator as well, or this Santan person could have tried to look up to as well. So yes, they do have investigators for insurance companies. Also, thank you, Karita, for being here as well. As thank you for your constant prayer. I really appreciate everything you do. Also, for the efforts of finding my son. I know you're a prayer warrior, so I know when you say prayer, always praying. Yes, I believe that, and I know that. So, thank you again. Okay, guys, I will be talking about this timeline, and I will be getting off this Q&A. But I want to let me see if I can get this timeline up here for you guys. I just want to go over it just briefly. I'm not going to go over the full timeline, but yeah, I want to go over it briefly and just for right now, just go ahead and go over this briefly. But anyway, the timeline here, you guys. Have you seen Geologist Daniel C. Robinson? This is the flyer, you guys. I always have that flyer that I normally use. This is the flyer, you guys. If you ask for it, this is exactly the PDF of where the flyers look. If you guys ask for flyers, they look like this. This is what you'll get, but except it has a QR code for, if you carry those flyers around, somebody can take their phone and use that QR code and then take them to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Also, have seen, like I said, Geologist Daniel C. Robinson, Humanity Speaks Out, you guys. And I do have the tip line that you guys, if you know anything, I put it right here on the stroll on the bottom for a second here. But this is a tip line, 844-602-0660. For those who have a tip and who know that you know something about my son, you know the answers, but you're reluctant to say so. You can call this number 24 hours, 7 days a week. That's live operators. I pay for the service, you guys. Live operators, 24 hours, 7 days a week. That will take your call. They will allow you to remain anonymous if you like. If you don't want to talk to anybody and you want to still remain anonymous, you can just text the word, or if you don't want to be anonymous, either or, you still can text the word tip to the same number, and then you can still, like I said, remain anonymous or not, but you can put in the information that you know. Direct information, you guys. Like I said, I get tips all the time, and it's not very helpful to me when I get it. It's helpful to me to hear different perspectives and things I could be looking into, and that helps in that area. But what I'm looking for is direct information that would bring my son home. Direct information of people who actually know what happened to Daniel and have direct knowledge. That's what the tip line is for, to help me bring Daniel back to our family. Also, excuse me, guys. Also, like I said, Daniel graduated from the College of Charleston in 2019, and this is him of his graduation date. one of the proud days of Daniel. Daniel, like I said again, you guys, he went out to Phoenix, Arizona to start his career. He started work with a company called Matrix New World, Matrix Southwest Groundwater. They hired him on as a hydrogeologist and a field geologist is what his title is. He is a 2.5-year veteran at the time he went missing. June 23rd, 2021, Daniel went missing from that well site. And so that morning of June 23rd, 2021, a guy named Roger from Daniel's job, Matrix New World, one of Daniel's off-the-job friend as well, came to knock on his sister's door, Daniel's sister's door, inquiring if Daniel was there. Of course, my daughter was really troubled by that, but Daniel wasn't there. She called me to let me know what happened. I did try to get her to do her due diligence first. Like I was saying, you guys, you got to look at the step that most families would do, because I know I did it. And that's why I'm saying law enforcement always come with this thing about waiting to report and things like that. And you shouldn't have to wait to report. Never should wait to report when you know that your loved one is missing, because if you think about it, this is exactly what happened in our case. The first thing I did is send my daughter out to Daniel's apartment. Let's see if he's there. Maybe this guy don't know where he lived. Go ahead, see if he's there, and check it out. So kept staying on the phone as much as I can, but in the meantime, I was definitely calling around. I called Daniel's mother, called his siblings, his other siblings, try to get in touch with them to see if they can call his friends, anybody who could think they can locate Daniel. Maybe he's over somebody's house or something. But when my daughter got there and so noticed his car wasn't there, like I said, you guys, but the living room light was on in the through the patio window. She could see through the blinds. Some things started becoming suspicious. That's coupled with the fact that when I started looking at the time difference, it was over 6 hours since Daniel been missing. I know that's not his character. He broke character, you guys. He would tell us where he went. That's the whole point. He would have told us something. He'd tell his family that he would just not do something without letting anybody know. So those things we did everything we can, as in our due diligence first. Then I reported to the Tempe Police Department to see if they can do a welfare check. Hey, look, that is very highly suspicious for me. His light is on, but he's not there. His vehicle's gone. I hope nobody did something to him. Right? I'm in South Carolina, thousands of miles away. Of course, I called the Tempe Police Department to see if they can do a welfare check. He's a resident of Tempe. I needed them to go over there, knock on the door, enter if they could, and see if my son is okay. He'd been missing for a length of time, but the Tempe Police Department declined to do so. Instead, they sent me over to the Buckeye Police Department, which was the biggest mistake in this whole thing. But anyway, the thing is, they declined it. They sent us to the Buckeye Police Department, and I called the Buckeye Police Department at over some time with the over 6 hours. Like I said, I also knew that Daniel was missing. So I did try to put the report in. They told me I had to wait 12 hours. Look at the time, I had 3 hours left. They told me I can call back in 3 hours, which I did, and that even added to that. So I asked for also a welfare check during that time as well. So the welfare check came unanswered for a while until they ended up calling the Tempe Police Department and sending them out there. Then nobody ever entered the department at the time. They just did the welfare check, like I said, the same manner that my daughter did. Just peeked through the patio glass and saw the living room light on. And that was the welfare check for them. Also, you guys, that night I did ask the Buckeye Police Department when I found more information out about Daniel. Of course, the police, when I was able to put that missing report in, of course, the Buckeye Police Department, they did been asking around, been getting the information. The officer crew's been calling Daniel's job, different stuff. And he also told me him and another officer are going to go in the area where Daniel went missing, up and down Sun Valley Parkway. That's when I first started hearing the word Sun Valley Parkway. I didn't know what that was, but I didn't know how long the road is either. It's a very long road. But he said they was going to go up and down that road to see if he's stuck on the side of the road or something. And that's what you see in the report. And they said, they was in the area. The area is outside that desert, you guys. But it's in the part of the Sonoran Desert, but outside the remote part of that desert. That's just the roadway. And they was up and down that area where he told me directly to search for Daniel that way, to look to see if he's on the side of the road somewhere. Later on, I started finding more as I was finding more information myself, because I've been calling around and found out that no, he was missing in the desert. You know, they explained to me, no, he was missing in the desert, some well out in the middle of in that desert. That's when I called the officer back and said, hey, look, I need you guys to put a helicopter out there, look for my son. With a helicopter that was declined because it was nighttime, the officer said. They would do it in the morning. They'll go out and look for him in the morning. Okay, I had to stay up all night, of course, and pace the floor until calling them all night. I was talking to the officer all night until the next morning. New officer, I believe his last name was Haley, came in, of course, you guys, and he said yes, they were going to do the search, but then called me back, and they changed that story. He said, hey, well, his higher ups unauthorized it and then clear it. He said it's unauthorized because Dane's a grown man. If he want to disappear on his own, he can. It was that assumption. Again, you guys, there's a failure in law enforcement to go at and go look for Daniel. So it took my auntie, you guys to make a phone call. I was still to that ask all the time. I think it was act of God. But whatever she said to the Buckeye Police Department at the time, they said they was going out to do the search, right, with the helicopter, Phoenix Firebird helicopter, right? So, you know, she had to intervene. But like I said, you guys, that was around the 26th of June. I know the Buckeye Police Department claiming they did it on the 25th, like it's gonna make a bit difference, the 23rd to the 25th. But it was on the 26th because I was already heading out to Arizona. I was out on the road rolling. And my aunt did call me, and she was very happy that she, whatever she said, they said they was going to send a bird, you know, out there to search for Daniel. So, of course, you guys, this whole big thing is a mess. But anyway, the agencies that I had at this point, when I got to Arizona, I reached out to was the Buckeye Police Department, of course, the Tempe Police Department, as well as the Red Cross and the NAACP. I'm a black male. Of course, I'm looking at the NAACP for help, as well as Red Cross from my experience with the military. We have issues of family emergencies that Red Cross always helps, so that's the first place I thought of. I didn't know anybody in Arizona except for my daughter at the time. I went to go pick her up immediately, and she and I was scrubbing Phoenix and surrounding areas with the Buckeye Police Department, Buckeye, Arizona as well, to try to locate Daniel. Also, let's see here. This is a picture of the Phoenix Firebird helicopter, in case you guys want to put that in your brain, what that helicopter would look like. That should have been out there searching for Daniel. I can't say hindsight, you guys, and I'm not going to go over the whole timeline this morning, but I can say hindsight, you guys. I put in a request, a FOIA, for this records that they claim they did the search. And to this date, I can tell you guys from what I received from the Phoenix is that they can't find it, right? And I take it as they don't exist. And then when I called back again with the case number again to double check with them, now they kind of changed their story, say we're still looking for it. Well, they've been looking for it for like 9 months now. And so it haven't been produced yet. So in my opinion is it never happened. It could be another falsification that Buckeye did. I don't know. It could be because it don't exist as far as I'm concerned. As far as Phoenix, what they're giving me so far, it don't exist. But my spirit tells me that it was just something they said to us to make us feel like they was doing something for Daniel, to make us feel good. And it didn't actually happen. So with the Phoenix Firebird help, I would like to see that that report produced. They write it in the report, but there's no report number from the Phoenix Fire and Police Rescue. So, all right, that's one thing I'm still searching for as well. So anyway, you guys, spreading awareness. I started out spreading awareness. I've been doing a lot of interviews, as you guys know, as well as I interviewed Ken, you guys, the guy that say he's last seen my son. I still need to correct the date on here, but I think it was on the 29th instead of 28th. But investigating Daniel's case, I went out there to talk to him. I did have that's one of the first things I did when I got out on the 26th of June, is to go out and talk to this guy. That was one of my major missions, you guys, outside of searching for Daniel around Phoenix, is to talk to this guy and look him in his eye and let him tell me what he told law enforcement. the ridiculous story I thought was ridiculous, hearing it from South Carolina, and or traveling to Arizona. And the thing is, when I got there, this guy Ken knew I was coming. I told him that we had him call and say we at the gate. Instead of him showing up, this guy showed up. He pulled up the road. We thought it was Ken. He turned his truck around and backed his truck up to the gate. And he got out and walked up to the car before I can get out the car. I got in the car and he was standing there, and I thought, hey, how you doing? I addressed him. Hey, I'm Mr. Robinson, blah, blah, blah. And are you Ken? No, he's not. I can't remember the guy even give me his name. The only thing this guy did was ask me questions. He questioned me like he was drilling me questions. Why I want to talk to Ken, what I want to talk to him about, that type deal, that kind of suggestion. And also, I just followed him to the truck because he said, oh, I can give you a ride down to the well. How far is the well? Oh, it's about 20-some miles. That he was saying to us. When I say us, and my daughter there and another witness who's holding the camera. It's about 20 miles to get there. I don't know if that's to make it seem like so. So I guess when they waiting at the gate, they say, well, they say about 20 miles, so it'll take a time. But it's gonna some length of time to get there. He gave me some outrageous. And I said, man, I'm not leaving my these ladies up here at this gate, But come on. He started. This picture here is when he was reaching over and trying to get clear some stuff off his passenger seat. He was throwing a bunch of trash or food trays or whatever out on the floorboard. And I'm like, no, I mean, it was really nasty to me. But anyway, the point is I wasn't going to leave anybody to go meet some kin. But I told him I'm not doing that. And then he realized I wasn't going in the vehicle with him. He said, well, he started calling Ken and let him know I was at the gate. I told him I want to speak to him. He called him, and I could hear a volume of, barely could hear a conversation, but you can hear the sound of a conversation. I can know he realized that. He shut his door of his vehicle and pulled forward, finished his conversation, you guys, and then he backed up after he finished conversation with Ken, backed up and say, oh yeah, he's on the way up here. And that's when he left. A little time later, Ken pulled up, facing forward towards the gate. And the first thing he did was got out of the vehicle and open up that side compartment you guys see there. I thought it was strange to me because I'm a military guy. Because he got out and the first thing he did open it, but he's standing there with his hand in there like he's grabbing a weapon or something. So I'm military. I watch hands and see what a person's intentions are. I saw his body language on the defensive side before I even said hello to him. And so when I was able to speak to him from the distance I was standing from him in that vehicle, told him who I was there for, and then I could see he kind of relaxed and he walked towards me and we had our conversation. Of course, I was sitting there with my pad and pen because I'm doing an investigation, you guys. I've been led by God, you guys. It's walk by faith, not by sight, you guys. I'm saying I'm just a father looking for my son, but things in my actions came back to help out to my investigation to this date because I wrote down notes, detailed information this guy was saying to me. I had witnesses there as well. And we have some other stuff from that conversation that I don't put out here in the public. But what I'm saying, you guys, is those are detailed information that serves me to this date. But anyway, he gave me the exact wording that Officer Cruz gave to me that he said that night on the 23rd to Officer Cruz what happened to Daniel. I mean, exact verbatim as if it was something written to me. That's what I'm saying. It was right on the T. And then after a while, he got comfortable. His body language changed again because we started talking. He said, man, if I know the mannerism of your son, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Man, don't blame yourself. That's how I was pretty much approaching him. It's a tactic that I like to use to help people get comfortable. Then he started giving me the other information that he really wanted to say. Staying left of the tracks, not disturbing. I know the police is going to come look and this thing going to go national. And to traveling, and gave me the whole details of his traveling that he claimed to go look for Daniel, went through this gate. But I'm telling you guys, if you was to follow that, it will lead you to the area where this vehicle right here will eventually be found. However, he was given those directions how he went through the gate that you have to go through to get to that area. And he got out of the vehicle and started painting, spraying rocks of red paint. After he got those high elevation to look around, he spray painted some rocks of red paint to show law enforcement where the tracks leads to, right? That type deal. So he was putting out so much information, you guys, that wasn't necessary, as well as the one that stuck with me the most about him, knowing that the law enforcement gonna come look and this thing gonna go national. That's one thing. Also, I learned that while he was talking freely, is that he said he was. I said, asked him, was he there? How long he was there since my son was missing? I'm here every day. I'm here every day. I don't know if the guy that was there came out to the gate was replacing Daniel or not. I don't know if it was a coworker from Matrix or not. I don't know. Only thing I know is that he said he was there every day since Daniel was missing, all day, every day. Oh, good. So you was here when Buckeye came out to the well to search for Daniel, and they used the Phoenix Firebird helicopter. He said he didn't see no police officer, Ken. He didn't see no helicopter. So it kind of go back hindsight my beliefs. And that's the reason why I see you guys. That's why I put in the FOIA because of what Ken told me in the past. I think it was just a made up story by the Buckeye Police Department with the search, because he was there at the well and he'd have never seen law enforcement come to the gate. And I bet that up basically on a live. I did a live with Grizzly True Crime. You guys probably know Grizzly True Crime is a channel, YouTube channel, Vigizla K, who have her channel. But anyway, she was doing a lot of work for me at the time. When I say do a lot of work, she was actually helping me get Daniel's story out. And we was doing a live. And one of the lieutenants from the Buckeye Police Department, I convinced them to come out there to the desert to do some stuff at the well. That they came empty-handed that day. But the lieutenant on the live admitted that they never came to that well site ever, you know. And I'm like, okay, so I put all this stuff together, you guys, and that's what caused me to put that FOIA in, like I said. And when now hindsight, like I said, the FOIA to this date, over 9 months, there's no record they can find of that ever happening. So I'm saying, you guys, all of that is evidence to me for failure for the Buckeye Police Department. But this is graduate search, you guys, and I really have been grateful for everybody who's been joining in for searches from day one. I truly appreciate it. I'm not going to go over the whole timeline because based on time, I want to go back to the chats, you guys, your comments and things like that. I want to answer some of your questions as well. If you have those, I really, truly appreciate you guys for being here, because I want to come back this evening and share some more stuff with you guys. I want to put some more content together and share some stuff. But Daniel needs to be located. If you have something, if you know something, say something. Yes. Because 9 times out of 10, you guys, when you have someone missing, there's always that person who's involved or knows something. They watch you. They come out to the searches. They hear on the Q&As. You name it. But, you know, there got to be some kind of humanity there somewhere. There got to be something in a person. At least I hope so. I hope so. I don't think we all robots. I think it's got to be a glitch or something there of humanity and something, some decency somewhere. If you have something involvement to do with my son's disappearance, or if you know anything about it, that's what tip line is for. You need to speak up and go ahead and say something about it. All right, he said here, adult missing person needs the same attention as a missing child. Yes. Excuse me, you guys. There should not be a double standard for adults, and I agree. I really agree with that. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to get my. Hopefully, I'm okay, you guys. You guys who've been following the YouTube channel know if I talk for a long length of time, sometimes I end up getting choked up. But I agree with you, Pacific Breeze. Every case should be treated the same. Sometimes we put less value on a person because of their age. I had a person who came on my. I think he came. Well, he came to one of my events, and I met him. He has a son, Mr. Risto. He has a son. His son, Risto Jr. We're missing grown man. Have two beautiful children and a wife, and you know, but you see, excuse me, Mr. Risto, he loved his son just like you know, when parents see our children, for instance, I'll use an example. We see our children. I think one time somebody came to me and say, I said I had to find my child, right? And you know, they say you forget that Daniel's a grown man now. He's 24 when missing. Yes, but to a parents, he's always going to be a child in our minds. Not looking at him and say, "Oh, he's like a little baby or something." But no, this is our kid. We were there when he was helpless, infant. As a parent, and just because a person becomes an adult and we look bigger, that love for our person don't change somehow. Oh, now they're adult. Well, I don't love them as much as anymore. It's not a person's not a puppy or something, and we love our animals, right? And so the thing is, whether they're a missing child or a missing adult, it should be treated the same way. Yeah, children are helpless, but humans can be adults can be helpless too. I doubt Daniel went out to do anything to himself like that. He could have been a victim is a helpless person. Whether you're adult or a child, you're a victim, you're a helpless person. So the point is, I'm saying is that's the way it should be treated in every case. So yeah, a missing adult person needs the same attention as a missing person. I agree with that Pacific Breeze. There should not be a double standard, and there should not be. And sometimes we just take so much. That's why a lot of missing adults are out now, because we have this thing where they somehow deserve to be missing, I guess, or they did something to themselves, or whatever the case may be. I don't care if they did something to themselves. We need to find what happened to a person, especially somebody's loved one. Blue and Gold, thanks so much for being here. Yes, I saw it. I don't know what you're speaking of, but thank you so much for being here this morning. Also, Pacific Breeze again, that part right there. Ken says he did not see law enforcement or the helicopter. Ken knows more. What is Ken afraid of? He said all of that. Like I said, he was being when it comes to the helicopter parts and things like that. I didn't know how to really take that. I wrote those things down, and that's why I said I just took it in consideration. So I had to look into it. Make a long story. I just like I look into his story. I didn't take his story very bad. I didn't take that part. I had to go look into it. But I did look into his story. Y'all guys know I've been on this Q&A. I did more than what law enforcement did. I actually wrote his story in a vehicle. I wrote his story and put it to the test, and it failed. His story failed. It felt the scrutiny of actually doing it physically and an impossibility. First of all, you guys, I want to correct something with people in the public. They'll say this whole thing that Daniel somehow got lost, right? At the beginning. Oh, he made a wrong turn. He went west instead of going east, going back east. He got confused somehow and got lost in the desert, right? That is crazy. No, he did not. No, he did not. I'm gonna tell you something, you guys. You leave that well site, even though it's the wrong well site, it was misleading me for a long time, and I found the right one. You still go south. Either way, either those well site, you go south to get to the T junction, just like Mr. Ken said, right? Get to that T junction, you got to make a left or a right. The right would take you out westward. I'm saying I'm gonna correct that part, and the other one would definitely take you straight east, right? Due east. When you make a right turn that they claiming that Daniel did, he claimed that Daniel did based on some trash, some weird part about trash. And they're supposed to rain. I'm going to talk about this rain issue too as well. But he made this right turn. It only go west for probably a few hundred feet. That's it. Then it started going southward. That little trail that you take to go right, it goes a little west and then start curving quickly to the south, right? And so you're not going out in the west farther into the desert. You're actually going south, right? So you go south, and as soon as you go south, you hit this gate. You guys probably know those who come out to the searches. We meet in this area we like to call the quarry. You have to go through that gate. You guys know what I'm saying. Who has been out there? You guys know that you have to, before you get to the power station, you have to go through a gate, and it's a wooden gate, right? Wooden structures on this gate, right? It's not the same gate, the chain link gate that's at the Sun Valley Parkway. So any person, even if they made the wrong turn, know they didn't go south, first of all, but would get to this gate and say, this is not the gate that I came through. This short gate is not a chain link fence. They would say, oh, I'm going the wrong direction, which I'm telling you guys, it'd be impossible for him to go the wrong direction. But for sake of argument, he make it to this gate. That would have been an automated flag that says, keep the gate closed and this and that. And there's a different type gate. I'm going to know that I made the wrong turn. I'm going to turn back the other way and say, oh, it must have been back the other way. That type deal. But anyway, the whole point is, you guys, it's a lot of inconsistencies in his story. I stayed left of the tracks, which is impossible. You can't stay left of the tracks without disturbing them. Why would you be doing that anyway? And also, why are you going through this extra efforts and not even call? One thing for sure, he's got to say he called Daniel's job to let them know what's going on or something out of what just happened, right? That he says. So you thinking that something's really wrong with my son, and you telling me when I met you, you was really concerned somehow, but you ain't picked up the phone one time in the whole day and then call us to check to see if he all right. Call him, say, hey, you got his number, and you call him and check and see if he's all right. You wait all the way to 3:00 in the evening when this guy's supposed to be going to my daughter's house to see if he acquires something, just to call and I guess to put a call on my son's phone. My son had a missed call from him at that point around 3:00 late that evening. So I'm saying, you guys, it doesn't make sense. Nothing will add up. Not come to one of my searches, not one search. You're so concerned. Before I even had any scrutiny about his story, not one time came to search, and you was very concerned. You know what I'm saying? That type thing, you guys. So that's what I'm saying. So I kind of put those things together, and it don't make sense. There's so much inconsistency. But yeah, like you said, that helicopter part, Lieutenant, I think his name was Angel or something like that, admitted that on the live. And I still got that. It's where I keep those. I keep records of everything, you guys, for the Buckeye Police Department. I'm glad I did. Also, thank you, Blue and Gold, for being here. Grizzly True Crime with you. I was referring to, yes, Grizzly True Crime. That's right. Yes. Oh yeah, you say you saw it. Okay, good. Grizzly True Crimes. Yeah, she's Gizla K is a very wonderful person and come out reaching out from another country, you guys, and been a big asset to my efforts to find Daniel. Yeah, she did do a lot of lives for me out there. She's been this YouTube channel. She's been credited for helping me get this together. I've been, trying to get my son's case out there. She's a content creator. I'm a person, just a dad who utilizes YouTube for how to fix an engine or something, or how to take an engine apart, a vehicle or something. Use it for that, or send pictures to my family or something, or videos to my family that we got family videos. I didn't know the tools of content creation and all this kind of stuff I'm doing right now. That was based on what Gizla K helped me make sure I get Daniel's story out there to the public. So she's a big contributor and responsible for the building of this YouTube channel to help me get Daniel's story out. So I give her a lot of credit for that. Also, your question here, you guys, if you have no questions, please put a capital letter Q, the word question mark, the word question or question marks for your question. That'll help me. But I'm right here at the end, so thank you, Blue and Gold, for your question. I'm curious about the person he met at the job site. Should there be more of a look into the person? And I'm grateful you said that, Blue and Gold, because like I was saying, that's what I did, is scrutinize the story. I'm be honest with you guys, and it's gonna sound bad when I say this. I haven't heard even my own investigator scrutinize his story at the time when I had my investigator. I don't think he tell me, I talked to him. Every time I talk to Buckeye, I talk to him. When are y'all going to bring him into an interrogation room like you brought me and my daughter? The only person I know in my son's case that been in Buckeye Police Department interrogation room was me and my daughter. They brought us in through the back door and had us sitting in the interrogation room, giving them information. That's how they know about this purchase at the Shell station to some of the Waffle House deals, and that they went to go in and getting the camera footage for. Buckeye Police didn't find anything. I'm telling you guys, those work was based on what we gave them as a family, and myself, my efforts to find my son. So yes, I did follow his story. I did scrutinize his story the best way I can. I'm not a arrested agency. I'm not a person that can interrogate somebody and this and that. But I got enough information and I got my notes. But yes, so I agree with you. They need to somebody's time. His story don't match with the timeline. He's saying that Daniel left at 9:15, but yet Daniel made a call to him that he either didn't answer or whatever the case may be. I don't know. At 9:28, you guys, I'm not gonna give you the length of the time, the seconds into that, which may suggest a voicemail or a quick couple seconds call or something. I don't know. But I can tell you that it was at 9:28 that evening. He said Daniel left at 9:15. His story don't even match up with the phone records, right? So then he later changed his story. That's the crazy part about it. Another officer questioned him. He changed the story to 9:30. Said Daniel left at 9:30. So that's a red flag off the rip, right? You always go by the initial intake. Officer Cruz is the first officer that talked to Ken. He's supposed. They say when you talk to somebody, you also catch them when it's fresh in their mind and give you the time, the date, what happened exactly, and that's exactly what he gave the Officer Cruz is the time and the date. He gave him the time at 9 o'clock. They came to that well site. 9:15, Daniel was gone. But like I said, it don't match the phone records, right? And then not only match the scenario of what happened that morning, because Daniel sent a text message to him that he didn't answer. Daniel made a phone call to him. He didn't answer. He didn't answer the phone call. So because Dan trying to find out where this location, this place is. So Dan ended up sending him a text message. Hey, pretty much, how you get to this location? Where is it? Basically, right? So if Daniel didn't talk to him from that point, which he didn't, according to his phone record, how do you know how to get to this location in the first place? It's a lot of questions you ask about. So yes, the story had to be looked into, deep dive into, but that's not the Buckeye Police Department's way. This one man said it, and that's what they like Shiro Nation would say, they use that as the gospel. They followed that to the letter without question. All right. So I'm saying, you guys, I did more investigation to my son's disappearance than law enforcement. Also, PM Channel, thank you so much for being here as well. I really appreciate you being here. All right. And I'm just going to put these comments, and I'm about to get off you guys. I have 10 minutes left. Okay. Ken is the guy at the job site. I'm sorry, I missed his name. Yes, he's the guy at the website. Sometimes people get, one thing I just never used to do is say that Ken is a co-worker because they work for two different companies, but I guess people use the word co-worker. It's the way you use co-worker. I guess he's supposed to be at the website with Daniel. So even rather they work at different companies, he's a co-worker. When I tell a story, I try not to say co-worker. He call him a co-worker because it get mixed up. Because I'll say, hey, Daniel's co-worker went to his sister's house to see if he was there. And people think I'm talking about Ken. No, the co-worker I was referring to is from Matrix New World. And also he's Daniel's personal friend. Went over to his sister's house to inquire. So there's two different people working with two different companies. And let's see who I got here. PM Channel, thanks so much for your question. Is there any recent communication with Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Pizzone? Not recent, but the latest I had, it was encouraging at first. There was some promises in some certain areas to give us a little time. You guys know that I had a protest at the time for the Maricopa County based on some things that I needed to happen. And then one of the biggest things is them taking on to my son's case. That prompted him to send his people out to give me a phone call. And we had a little meeting, and they pretty much asked me to hold off on the protest while they give them the end of the month to accomplish those things I was asking. They only did one half of that. And I'll be honest with you guys, told them, hey, yes, that's why you guys heard me on the public saying, well, the protest is on pause. It's not gone, it's on pause. Well, that's the reason why it's back up again for one thing. But the other thing is it was on pause, pending their actions. The only thing that Maricopa County did at that point was they went out and did a search. They say they did this massive search. And like I said, it was a Maricopa County operation. My team and I was a part of things on that. And but it wasn't a Buckeye operation. But then what got me was they lent that to the Buckeye Police Department. Like I was saying, you guys, the way it appears to me, the blue try to make the blue look good. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this operation for the money that we got, the resources to have this operation, so Buckeye can take credit for it and make it appear to the public. You get what I'm saying? So Buckeye, I mean, they did it too, you guys. You go on their page, the Buckeye Police Department, they went on, yeah, we did a search and got this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you clowns, that's, good and well, that was a Maricopa County thing. But that's what Blue does. I'm saying, you guys, is more concerned of trying to make sure Buckeye keep the case and make them look good than it is to actually find my son. So that's the thing. That's the problem I'm having with law enforcement. I'm really trying to get away from this blue part of their operations and stuff and make them do their job. It's not it's almost the same hurt feelings I had when I had the Tempe Police Department to do the forensics on, convince them to do the forensics on Daniel electronics. And they kept saying to me over and over again when I was bringing them the items and say, we're doing a favor, doing you a favor. I'm like, when the law enforcement doing me a favor when it's a job for law enforcement to do the law? I mean, that was offending me. That offended me real bad to keep him. They kept repeating and repeating. I'm like, you're not doing me a favor. This is a job. Can you imagine if the United States, I'm a military guy, and we go to a country and trying to support another country, and then we always throwing in their face, we doing them a favor, like they almost like we owe them something. They owe us something or something, Or I tell the citizens of the United States, well, I'm going over to Afghanistan, you guys. I'm just doing, I'm doing this a favor for you guys. I'm risking my life as a favor for you guys. I mean, this is my job. If I signed up to be in the military, I knew every time we left the FOB, we may not come back. We lost a lot of soldiers over there. And the thing is, but it's our job. What I'm saying? I mean, you can't. I can go off on this kind of stuff, but it's irritating just to see how law enforcement would bend to try to help an agency that's messing up bad. And so that's why it's a problem. But yeah, I didn't talk to him recently, but I have some works right now to try to get in contact with him again. All right, so thank you to Estina for being here as well. It's crazy to lie about times when you can clearly see on your phone at exact time, text calls. Ken has someone protecting him. It's you guys. I'm telling you guys, it's sad because it's some other things that, of course, I know a lot. I don't get to put in public. And that's the crazy part about it. Sometimes in my investigation, of being able to dance around stuff I do know. But then you try to hope that law enforcement catch up somehow. And sometimes I ask myself, like, is either they know and they don't care, or they covering it up, or do I need to spell it out to them or something? I give, even for Sheriff Zone, for instance, you asked about Sheriff Zone, I was like, look, I even talked to him and I gave him tea leaves about some things that I know. And they don't latch themselves onto it, because if for them to latch onto it, they had to investigate law enforcement themselves. They had to police the police, basically. And one thing I'm keep learning, I'm telling you guys about law enforcement, they are slow and they are very hard and they would burn you to the ground before they try to investigate their own. I'm telling you guys, you have to go through all kind of pretzels to try to see if you even get close to them looking into something of their own. So that type deal. So that's why I would never go to, for instance, the Buckeye Police Department. I guess we call it internal, general, whatever we call it thing, where they investigate themselves. Heck no. No, that would never happen in a million years. They're not going to investigate themselves. You saw it in the crime statistic thing. They thought they can get away with that one, but they're going to investigate themselves. So, I mean, the blue's going to look out for the blue. Thank you so much, you guys, for your comments, and thanks for being here. I don't see any more other than comments. I don't see any more questions. But thank you guys. I'll see y'all this evening on this evening's Q&A. I'm going. This evening on this evening's Q&A. I will be back and talk about this Melon protest, as well as the fast and prayer for Daniel, ending that, like I said, you guys, with the prayer and and so on. So I will be back, and I thank you, Eden, for being here. I will be back, and we'll be discussing a lot of those things. So I'm gonna read this real quick. Have you ever tried TikTok Live? If not, I suggest the live to other people. It may have reached more people to put pressure on law enforcement. Not enough people are continuing to talk about this. It should be just mainstream as any other person's case. Yes, I'm on TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok as much as I need to, but yeah, I do TikTok lives at least about once a week, or sometimes less, but I try to do it at least once a week. So yes, I do have a TikTok. I just want to throw out this too. It's kind of funny. I remember my children asked me, like you were saying, to get on TikTok. And when I first saw TikTok, it was all I saw was people dancing around looking at their phone. They had their TikTok up and people dancing around and stuff. So that's all I know TikTok was for. And my children like, yeah, you need to get on TikTok. I'm like, man, I'm a grown behind man. I ain't gonna You think I'm be on TikTok dancing around? No, I'm a grown man. I don't do stuff like that. But I found out, like you said, later, it was a good tool because when I get on TikTok and I do the lives, I mean that numbers jumps up and it reach out to a lot of people really quick. And so yes, but I'm saying the problem is that with my time and things I've been doing in the day, efforts of Daniel as well as you guys, you got to understand too. My efforts, my job is to find my son. I'm a retired military guy. My job is to find my son, but I also have responsibilities at home. When I say at home, South Carolina, I haven't given up my home. I have a young daughter as well. So I have a life that I have to take care of as well. So it's a lot of things be going on at one time. And a lot of times I miss things like being able to get on TikTok and do lives like I really want to and, stay on top of these things like that. But I do my best. So yeah, TikTok is one of the things I will, since you're saying that, I will be doing one of those today as well. Again, and also on the other social media platforms, Facebook and so on. I'll do some lives with that. I'll even be on here on StreamYard today to talk about this mail-in protest and the reasons why. Some of those videos seem redundant and keep going over and over again, but that's, like you said, that's one way of reaching as many people as possible, try to reach new people. Again, you guys, to help me out, please hit the like, share, subscribe button because we really need that. I need it really bad. To get the algorithms going to be able to do what Eden said is, try to get out to more people as possible. Help the algorithm go and reach out to new people. So thank you for the hashtag. Also, T and Wildflower. Thoughts and prayers with you and your family, and Daniel. God bless. Thank you, Kim. Again, you guys, thanks so much for coming to this Q&A this morning. I'm Dave Robinson, Father Geologist Daniel C. Robinson. I will see you this evening. God bless you, and I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful day. Don't forget about fast and prayer. Pray for those families who have missing loved ones, who are suffering, etc., and all the ones that's here. We have other needs as well. So thank you again. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you late this evening on Q&A Prime Time.